tell you, but
just one day.
Fluent and chill. Where the takes stay real. Chill town, hoop sports, fluent with the feel. Break down sharp like a highlight reel. Welcome to the show, we stay fluent and chill.
I'm back in the lab again. I got other stuff. That was just a precursor to some new stuff that's coming. I'm getting older. I'm not just biting your style with glasses. I'm blind. So
can't say, man, it happens.
So I'm wearing stuff. So today we got a bunch of topics. Yep. I'm gonna try to get some people commenting on TikTok. I'm gonna ask you to do that as well.
Yep.
Obviously, people in the chat, super chats. If you're on Chilltown Hoops YouTube, excuse me, super chats do get preferential treatment. That being said, if you miss this episode of Fluent and Chill, the replay. I probably should have had what's that Rihanna song, Pon de Replay? I should have had that queued up.
That's suspicious.
But I don't.
That's weird.
But I should have had that queued up to say the replay is on Sports Fluent YouTube at 10 a.m. Tomorrow on Wednesdays. So I have like 5 things I want to start you off with.
Yeah.
Now there's NBA topics that's going to take up 99% of our time.
Sure.
So do you first want to start with the most dangerous move in the history of MMA fighting that I was taught by a friend of mine who's an MMA fighter, or with proof that I'm the pettiest guy in the world?
Well, we already know that you're the pettiest guy in the world. We can start there. But the most dangerous move, let's see that. What's going on there?
All right. So I'm gonna teach it to you. Are you ready?
Let's see it.
All right. So first, make 2 fists.
2 fists.
Now, don't put your thumbs in there because as they get hit, they can break. So your fists have to be here. Okay, hold them here like this.
Hold them here
facing me like this. Okay.
Yep.
And then you need to kind of sway side to side.
And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too.
Never gonna let you up. Never gonna let you down.
Most dangerous move in MMA fighting.
Oh, that's so dope.
Oh no, TikTok didn't get to see that. Oh, I'll clip that for TikTok later because that was I Show Speed got that happened to him, and my son was like, "You got to do that to Chill." I'm like,
that was great. That is fantastic, Tone. I actually dug him when I first heard the funniest thing, Tone, is when I first heard him, I was expecting this brawly, huge black man, and then I see I ended up seeing Howdy Doody, and I'm like, what? I didn't know this dude was white. Sounded like that. Oh man, he was awesome.
I think Hanks played him in Toy Story.
Did he really?
Howdy Doody. Did he play the? All right. That being said, let me ask you, because I see a lot of these videos on TikTok, so I'm going to ask the question. They always start the video like this: "Am I the asshole?" That's how they read the. They got a letter from somebody to say, "Am I the asshole?" So I occasionally fall for these traps, and I get into debates with these trolls.
Yep.
And so I got into one on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. I got into one on Twitter. And normally I go, a certain amount of time, and then I'm like, okay, and I move on because they're boring and they all say the same thing and they really don't know basketball, and it gets boring after a while. However, this one said, I said, hey, listen, as I always let everybody know, I'm always open for a debate. So I said, hey, if you want to come out, because you have a faceless account, if you want to come out and challenge me to debate, let's do it.
Come on in.
It was about 11, 12 o'clock at night. I turned off my phone. I went to bed.
Done. While
I was sleeping, he said, let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. So I woke up in the morning, checked my Twitter, and I said, hey, didn't see it. Yeah, sure. You were sleeping. You're ducking. I said, no. Just you let me know the time, the date, how much money you want to bet. Because I ain't working. Show up. No. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Hang on.
I said, and how much you want to bet? And he said, well, this time. And I said, I can't at that time because it's Friday night. I play basketball on Friday nights. And he says, well, it's 11 o'clock Central. So I kind of did the math, and I was like, well, I finished basketball at 10:30. I go out for a beer and a bite to eat with the boys after. I'm actually home around 11:45, 12. If I, cut the night out a little bit short, which I don't need to be out drinking anyway, so it's okay.
Right. All right.
So I go, okay, fine. Let's do it. Your time. So we're going Friday, 11 p.m. Central. That's your time. That's 12 o'clock my time.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a date, a time. He put up 10 G's.
What's up?
$10,000. So I said, for 10 G's, I'll skip a beer.
Absolutely. I'll come through.
And then he said, okay, promote it. So I promoted it. Sent him the link. He promoted it on his channel. So 12 o'clock rolls around. I click go live. I sat in here with Woodage and a couple other of our regular viewers. And I said, hey, this is what's going on. This dude challenged me to a debate for $10,000. Let's chat. Just tell me topics you want to talk about. There's only like 5 people. It wasn't a lot. It was midnight with no.
Right. It was late. Sure.
Late. There wasn't a lot of people. There was like 5 people laying. And they're like, hey, what do you think about this? So we talked hoops for about half hour. And I said, okay, so this guy's not showing up.
Mm-hmm. So
we're done. Then he started, no, I forgot about you. You don't mean nothing.
10,000?
You know what? For $10,000, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sue you.
Yep.
He went, what do you want? And he goes, what? You can't do that. And I said, yes, I can. Mm-hmm. I looked up the law, and the law is if you have a date and time and a wager in writing, which I do, and you've promoted it, which we have, you're entitled to like it's a small claim.
You are obligated. You are obligated to show up.
So I said, all right, so I'm gonna sue you. Yeah. And he says, you can't sue me. And I said, I can't. And now of course he's on Twitter and he's like, you don't know who I am. I said, well, if you're so big and bad, why don't you tell me who you are? No. I said, no problem. We can subpoena Twitter. It's no problem. So I put in a small claims and I sent him. Now, I have investigators and lawyers in the family. So I asked around and they said, well, you have to send him a letter stating, this is what you're doing. This is how long you have to pay. And so I'm lazy. Sorry, I'm efficient. So I'm not going to pay a lawyer to do it. I got on AI. I went and I sent him a thing on Twitter and I said, here's and he says, well, that's AI. That's fine. It can be AI.
Difference.
Yeah. And he's like, and he's commenting on everything. You're chicken. I bet you 250,000 you won't do it again. I said, sure, no problem. You want to bet me 250,000? Said, here's a contract. I'm not signing a contract. I go, why? So I can go and sit and wait for you to come on and not? I said, you owe me 10 grand already. So so back to the original question. Am I the asshole or am I finally teaching these faceless trolls a lesson?
Absolutely teaching them a lesson. 100%. My time is valuable. I don't have time for nonsense. And if you're gonna put up $10,000, whether you're a kid, whether you're an adult, my time is very valuable.
Who knows who he is?
Yeah, my time is very valuable. And if you are going to put up a wager for 10 grand and tell me that we have a debate or a duel, I'm 100% showing up for that. And if you don't show up for that, we have a deal. Right here. We have a deal.
We have a deal. And I have every screenshot so he can't delete it.
Yes.
And he's been calling names and trying to I said, pay your 10 grand and we good.
And then we good. Absolutely. Otherwise, we got to go to court. You know what? That's not a bad idea, Tone. In fact, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Yes, so there you go. So I filed. Now I don't even know what state he's in, so I had to file slots. I went and I looked at which state has the highest small claims announced. So I went and filed in a couple of those because it's like $5. And I said, hey, we'll file. Eventually, we'll get someone. I offered actually $1,000 to anybody who tells me who he is. Find out who he is.
Find out who he is. So if anyone has information on the true identity of @sportsexport on Twitter, you can get $1,000. Yes, for real. Not a question mark. If you can find out.
No, you are not the asshole for this. No, you're not.
Not? Okay, excellent. Am I the asshole for this? June 25th, 10:48 p.m. Someone, Trista Crick, I'm talking to you, said the Portland Trailblazers would be a top 5 defense in the NBA. I said, I don't know what we're betting, but let's make a bet because I don't think they're going to be top 15. Halfway through the season, do you know where they sit?
As of today, in January of 2026, the Portland Trailblazers are currently, if I'm not mistaken, Tone, as of today, they're in the bottom 10 in the league.
They are 20th. I wouldn't bring it up if I wasn't right.
They're in the bottom 10 in the league. Yes, they are.
Coming for you. But there's still a lot of season left to go. So I just wanted a mid-season update.
Now, to be fair, Tone, to be fair, Drew Holiday's been out of the lineup. Kamara has not been the Kamara of last year, the all-league defender of last year. So
that's part of basketball.
It is part of basketball, and it sounds like excuses.
To be fair, they traded away DeAndre Ayton, which would have had them at 25th.
Yes, they did. Which means they got better. Yeah, which means they got better. And DeAndre Ayton has actually been really good for the Lakers, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But to be fair, this team has not been as good as I thought that they were going to be. They were decimated by injuries. Scoot has been injured. Drew Holiday's been out of the lineup. This team.
Part of my argument was Drew isn't that same Drew. He's an older Drew. He's going to break down.
Yeah, but
so that's part of my assessment on this team was that this team is not going to be that defensive team because she was going based on the last 10 games of the season. I don't care what they did the last 10 games of the season. It's what they do for a full 82.
Right, and in theory, it was supposed to carry over. Drew has not been in like 2 years. Drew has not been. I mean, it's like since 23, Drew has not been the all-league defender, but he's still been damn good. He was good in 24 when they won the championship. He still was a damn good defender. Then you add in Scoot, who competed on the defensive end. So you lose Chauncey Billups because I think that he was going to be the catalyst of that defense as their coach. Then you end up losing Drew, and then you lose Scoot. So my backcourt in terms of defense was supposed to be that. And then Klingon was supposed to take that next step because I don't think Tiago Splitter has any idea what he's doing. I don't think that they're going to hold on to him at the end of the season. I think he's gone. So in fairness, there was some attrition with the Portland Trailblazers, which would explain why they weren't as good as I thought that they were going to be. In fairness.
Keep defending your friend. Listen, I was right. So far, she was wrong. Speaking of that, right in the chat, perfect timing. In the TikTok chat, asked about this guy.
Keep talking, Tone. I can hear you.
Trae Young has officially, unofficially, it depends who you believe, and his agent have come out and said, we want out of Atlanta. I don't think anybody in Atlanta is going to miss him. Atlanta has a much better record when he's out of the lineup anyways. Thank you. And so Trae Young is on his way out of Atlanta. This is a good average, a good team with Trae out. So whatever they get for Trae can only, you would think, enhance this team, which is an okay team without him. So that being said, if they're an okay team without him, what, where, how, I don't know what Washington is thinking, but what are your thoughts on Trae Young? Is obviously interesting. We debated who got the better of that deal, Dallas or Atlanta, and neither guy's going to be on that team come 2020, the end of the 2026 season.
Yeah.
What do you think's going on with Trae?
Well, I think Washington is thinking the same thing that Atlanta was thinking early on in this season. We got young talent. This is probably some of the best talent that we've had. We just got the wrong guy in the kitchen. If we can get a lead guard like Trae Young, I think he can maximize both Trey Johnson, Bub Carrington. I think that he could be a really good point guard for Alex Sarr, and I think he can turn Alex Sarr up and make Alex Sarr better. I think that was the plan in the plan in Atlanta, because this was the most talented group, and in theory, it just made sense. You got a transition player in Jalen Johnson. You got a lob threat at the rim in Okongwu. You got a 3-point threat in a big in Gay. Right, you got guys who can stretch the defense. You got a sharpshooter coming off the bench who can defend in Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So this sounded like a good idea, and unfortunately, it just didn't fit. The dynamic of this group doesn't fit. Now, if I move him over to Washington with younger guys who aren't as polished as these guys, but I can get more out of them, and on top of that, get more out of them, I could get him off my books because he's 100% opting into that $48 million deal. Obviously, that 48, because he's not leaving that money on the table. Tony. No. Let's get to the bottom of that.
Nor should he.
No, absolutely not. He's not leaving that money on the table. Hell no. So to get with a guy like Alex Sarr, who I think is one of the better young bigs in the game, and I feel like they're wasting him in Washington. Tony's almost 20 and 10, and they don't run anything for him. They don't run any offense for him. A lot of the stuff that he get is secondary, or it's cleanup stuff, or it's in transition. A lot of that stuff that they get for him, it's not pick and pop, it's not pick and dive. He can stretch the defense. And a guy like Trae Young, I think, could really maximize him. And
you think Trae Young's gonna help him?
I do. I think Trae Young could definitely turn him up. I think that him being that lob threat, not only him being that lob threat, him being that pick and pop big, I think that could really help Trae's offense. I think that I think it could help Trae Young's shot selection and make Trae Young a better shot maker and shot taker. On top of that, a guy like Trae Johnson, who is young and can stretch the defense, I think Trae, getting him involved in the offense would really expand what they're doing. Getting guys like McCollum and Middleton off the books, I think that would help them, to be honest with you. And
so you think they're trading? I think someone had said here the rumor is CJ and Kespert.
I'm not really. If I don't have to give up Corey Kispert, if I don't have to give him up, I would love to keep him, because I think that Trae could maximize his game too. Like they haven't really had a lead guard.
Make that trade, CJ, and let's say your trade, which is CJ and who did you say? I think
CJ. I said CJ and getting Middleton off the books.
CJ and Middleton.
I don't think that they would do Middleton, but I think CJ is definitely a part of the deal, because CJ comes off the books. So that's another expiring contract. So I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to free up some money. And with them freeing up some money, I think this really helps Atlanta. And like moving on with Trae, him being in Washington, I think that it'll be a really good thing for them. I do.
But that's not really, let's be honest, is that the best place for Trae?
Well, if I think about all the other options, Tone, I really don't love him in Milwaukee. I don't. And the reason why I don't love him in Milwaukee is because in Atlanta, there are no real aspirations. In Atlanta, they're trying in Atlanta, not in Atlanta, I'm sorry, in Milwaukee, there are no real aspirations. Let me rephrase that. In Washington, there are no real aspirations. In Milwaukee, you got Giannis. So with Giannis, there's aspirations. And with having Trae Young on the team, those aspirations actually go back up. They don't have anybody to protect him, Tone. That's the problem. When he's in Atlanta, they're a negative on the defensive end of the floor. I think that they're still good offensively with Trae and with guys like Kuzma and guys like that. I think that they're still good offensively, but I think defensively, they don't have enough guys to protect Trae. Because they don't have enough guys to protect them, that doesn't make them the viable championship contender that they need to be. We already tried this with Dame. And I mean, I think Dame is just as good an offensive player. I think that he is a little bit better of a defender, where he will compete sometimes on defense. But Trae
I want to be clear. What you're saying is, since whichever team Trae goes to, they're not going to win any games, it makes more sense to go to Washington, because they won't care that they're losing, because all they do is lose.
And no, I'm not going that far.
He doesn't win.
Well, he does. I mean, he has been to the Eastern Conference Championship. He has been to the playoffs with the teams he's been to the playoffs with, Tone. The problem is that when you got a point guard like Trae Young, you got to put the right pieces around him in order to have an opportunity to win. You got to get guys around him to protect him. In Washington, I think that they're in a space.
One guy.
But here's the thing, though, Tone. I think in Washington they're in a space where they are trying.
You know what Trae Young is? Trae Young should be like Lou Williams or Jamal Crawford. He's a phenomenal sixth man.
Just coming off the bench and just be instant buckets.
Yep.
So if that's the case,
we tried to turn him into a superstar because he was traded for Luka. We wanted him so bad because he puts up numbers. Statistically, you look at his number. They put up so many numbers that you want him to be a superstar, and he is not. He's not a number one on a championship contending team, which is my definition of a superstar. He just makes more sense. He just makes more sense to be that type of guy. And that's okay. But the problem is, because he was traded for Luka, that's the standard that he's being held to.
But he's been...
And it's not fair for him, because he's always going to fall short.
He's played at an all-pro level. He's played at an all-star level. I've seen him go deep into the playoffs. I've seen him be a number one. I think the problem is very much like players of his stature, because I think he's... How many
years has he been in the league?
He showed up the same year Luka showed up. So we're in. I think we're in year 8 now. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're going into year 8. So I think you've seen everything that you're going to see in Atlanta. That's why they're ready to move.
So who is he? He's a guy that can go 25 and 10 and lose a bunch of games, or he's a guy that could come in off the bench and drop 30 on any given night for you.
I'm going to drop a name for you, Tone, and I want to know how you feel about this. Trae Young or Dana Barrows?
Dana Barrows.
Wow. So 2 small guards shoot the ball.
Trae Young is taking advantage of an era in basketball where everybody's points are grossly exaggerated, which also exaggerates their assists. And he has taken advantage of that, and he has tricked people into thinking he's a superstar caliber player when he's not. I
think that I said the same thing.
If Lou Will or Jamal Crawford or pick the sixth man that you want, who's a bucket, is playing in today's NBA, where they're dropping 120, 130 like it's nothing. You know how many games I've been to this year? 7. All of them hit 100 points, at least one team by the end of the third quarter. Okay. So you're telling me that those guys who are averaging 15, 17 couldn't drop 25 and 10?
I'm not saying that Jamal Crawford wouldn't get busy in this era. I'm not saying that. Luke.
All I'm saying is I think we have listen, because everybody's gonna, you know how people are. Because I say he's not as good as you think he is, they think I say he sucks. He doesn't suck. He's phenomenal. But he should be the best sixth man in the NBA, period. That's who
we say that about a bunch of guys, though, Tone. Like I've always had this conversation with you, and we've always been at odds of the standard that you hold certain guys to. Not everybody is going to win a championship. That's the problem. Right. Not everybody is going to win it. But that doesn't mean that I can't. That doesn't mean that I cannot build a unit to compete for an NBA championship, right? That doesn't mean that I can't that doesn't mean that I can't build a unit where we have an opportunity to compete in the playoffs and maybe get some things to go our way. Prime example would be 21 when they ended up getting by Philly in the Eastern Conference semifinals. But then he ended up getting hurt against Milwaukee in the East Finals. I thought that they were doing really well against them. Then Giannis got hurt. So there's some more luck on your side. So I think that as a small, inefficient lead guard, same like Kyle Lowry, you put a guy around him and you put some talent around him that can mask a lot of his deficiencies.
Okay, so you just compared him to Kyle Lowry, who had to be skill-wise the 3rd, if not 4th best player on a team. So yeah, fine. You want to have him as the 4th guy on a team? Sure. That's not a superstar. So, okay, fine. You want to have him on the 4th guy? I'm just saying I think his skill set is better suited for today's 6th man. But okay, you want to have him starting? No problem. He's a starter. Cool. But now he's the 3rd or 4th option.
What I want to do, Tone, is I want to put the amount of talent around him, because I do think that I'm kind of torn. Let me rephrase this, Tone. I'm torn, and I'm torn in the aspect that a guy like Trae Young and how much the game has changed from the time he showed up to the league until today gets tricky. Like, I don't think Trae Young is the same player that he was in 2018, that he was in 2020, or that he was in 2022, or that he is today. Now, there are some things as a player that there's really not much that we can do about it. We can't do anything about his size. We can't do anything about his athleticism. This is who he is. We can't do anything about the fact that he can't defend very well.
We're talking about Trae Young.
Yes, but what we can do is I think that we can maximize the other things. The other things like his ability to handle the ball, taking better care of the basketball. His shot selection could be better. In addition to his shot selection,
in year 8, 9, that's going to change.
Tone, we've seen players. We've seen players transform their games. Tone, last I checked, Michael Jordan played in the triangle in year 7. That's what year the triangle showed up, in year 7.
Yeah, and you know what he did in that first year?
They lost in the East Finals.
Shots than they took the year before.
Right, and
his game didn't change. All they did was take the ball out of his hands and reduce his assists.
But here's the difference.
That's all he did.
But the difference, actually, his game did change, Tone. No question about it.
Yeah, because the ball was out of his hands and he couldn't do any playmaking.
Which means he wasn't the ball hog that he was previous to that, where he wasn't getting off.
The year before the triangle, he averaged 35 and 8 assists.
No,
that's not a ball. Yes.
Okay, so what about the year before? Okay, so what about the year before that, Tone? And the year before that, when Phil Collins was playing, when he was coaching.
Yeah, that was with Phil Collins.
Okay, not Phil Collins. I mean, Doug Collins. And then the year before that,
Phil Collins.
Tone, this is so unfair that you're doing this, because what you're doing is you're turning Michael Jordan. You're trying to turn Michael Jordan into this now assist guy. No, he had the ball in his hands. He wasn't a passer like that. He was a shooter.
when the
He
ball
was not
was in his hand, when the ball was in his hand in that last year under Doug Collins' offense, he averaged
88-89.
He averaged 8 assists a game.
He went 32, 8, and 8.
And the second the ball came out of his hands, he was relied on in the triangle offense to work throughout the offense. And at the end of shot clocks, just give it to MJ and hope for the best. Because in the triangle, as you know, if that first or second option isn't there, you're kind of screwed with the triangle. That was the problem with the triangle. And then it was give it to him. He ended up taking more shots that first year in the triangle than he did the year before with Doug Collins as coach. So it took the ball out of his hands and it took away some of his ability to play me because now the ball's not in his hands. My point is he didn't change as a player. He still shot the ball the same amount as he always did.
That's not true.
He didn't.
No, the reason why that's not true is because what he did that year where he took more shots, he was still stuck in what was going on with Doug Collins. The next year, after that year, the year that they won the NBA championship, he didn't take as many shots. You know why?
More shots than he did under Doug Collins in that final year where he had 8 assists.
I'm not talking about that year, Tone. What I'm talking about is okay. So let's stick with Trae Young and let's stick with Michael Jordan. That's what we're talking about. So Michael Jordan. He gets out of Doug Collins' offense, and he gets into the triangle. Yeah. He now takes more shots the 89-90 season when they lose in the Eastern Conference Championship. Why is he doing that? He's doing that because he's still stuck on what's going on with Doug Collins, where he doesn't have the ball, where he has the ball in his hands. So every time he touches the ball, now I'm going to shoot the basketball. Now he gets with Phil the next year after that, the year that they won the NBA championship. Now he's got to learn how to play off the ball, which means his game changes. The same, and this is in year 7, by the way. Trae Young in year 8, we have to condition him to be a better distributor. We got to condition him to be a better floor leader, to be a better decision maker, because he's wrapped up in how he plays right now. Just like Jordan was wrapped up in how he played with those other coaches who kept the ball in his hands. He had to learn how to play off the basketball. He had to learn how to think about playing off the basketball. He had to do that.
Under Phil Collins. Why do we keep calling him Phil Collins? Under Doug Collins in the last year, because he took some time, because let's not forget, year 1, year 2, year 3, right? 3 different head coaches. Okay. So year 3, he gets Doug Collins. He has his highest shooting field goal attempts per game by far. Okay. Mm-hmm. Doug Collins is like, hey, we can't win that way. So it goes from 27.8 to 24.2 to 22.2. So now that he's into Doug Collins's offense, which is you're going to be our main guy, you're going to be our main scorer, but you're also expected to facilitate. So that's the year where he takes 22.2 shots per game and averages 8 rebounds and 8 assists. The very next year, under the triangle, to your point, he shoots 24 per game. So more than Doug Collins.
Yep.
And I'm using the last year under Doug Collins because that's the one where I say that's when he became who he should have been.
Sure.
So 24. The next year, 22.4, still more than under Doug Collins. Then 22.7, still more than under Doug Collins. And then for the three-peat, the final year, 25.7, still more than when he had Doug Collins. So it didn't change his output, his field goals. So it didn't change it. All it did was take the ball out of his hands so he couldn't facilitate. And he became, yes, you need to just be a scorer for us and play defense. That's it. Now, was that good? Sure it was, because they won championships. Everyone's going to say it was good. Was it
getting better shots, Tone? Is he getting better shots?
Sometimes.
Is he getting better shots? So the same logic applies to Trae Young, because Trae Young can still have the basketball in his hands, and with him having the basketball in his hands, he can still average 12, 13 assists. He could still do that, average 11, 12 assists. But it's different. Why? Because I'm playing in a different system. And me playing in a different system, now I see things different because the coach has me seeing things a lot differently than when I just had the ball and I was just doing whatever I wanted. Same logic with Jordan. That's the reason why I'm bringing up Michael Jordan is because when Jordan played in a different system, when he played off the basketball, he had to learn how to play off the basketball. Kevin Durant, when he went to the Golden State Warriors, he had to learn how to play with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. I'm still getting the same shots that I was getting when I was in Oklahoma City. The difference is that now I don't have 2 and 3 guys hanging on me. I only got 1 guy hanging on me. I'm still getting the same amount of shots, though.
Michael Jordan was efficient with his shooting. Trae Young is not. So if Trae Young still shoots the same amount of shots and he's inefficient, how does he help you win is the point of this. And if the ball's now out of his hands, like you're saying, and now he's not getting those assists, Then now he becomes a 20-5 guy?
I don't want to take the ball out of Trae Young's hands. What I want to do is I want to make Trae Young more efficient as a distributor. I want to make Trae Young more efficient as a passer. I want to make Trae Young more efficient as a shot creator and shot taker. That's what I want to do. And I think the system is going to enable that. And that's what the system enabled Kevin Durant to do. That's what the system enabled Michael Jordan to do. And I think that you're looking at this from an aspect that you're an old dog. Old dogs can't learn new tricks. Trae Young is 27 years old. If Trae Young understand, he has to understand.
Does he though?
Absolutely. Here's why he understands that, Tone. Because being in Atlanta, he recognizes that, okay, this doesn't fit anymore. Well, the way my style of play, if it doesn't fit here, now I got a reputation around the league. If I'm going to be a starting league guard in this league for however many more years I'm going to play, I'm going to have to change what I'm doing. I'm going to have to switch up what I'm doing.
Last year and the little bit of this year, the 10 games that he's played are his lowest shooting percentages of his career.
Terrible.
And his second highest, his second year was worse, but second highest by 0.1 turnovers per game. I just think you've convinced me that by year 5, you are who you are.
That's the floor of you. That's your floor. That's what the floor means.
I think he is who he is. And I don't believe he has the right mindset to go to a team and say, okay, I'm not the guy. I don't think he does. Now he could prove us wrong, but I don't. What part of Trae Young throughout his career has made you believe? Yeah, he's totally the guy that could step back and be second, third fiddle.
He didn't have to do that.
He does.
That's the problem. He didn't have to do that. He does. He has to do that now.
Yeah, that's
the reason why he has to do that now is because the market for him has shown that your game is not conducive to what's going on in today's game. If your game was conducive to that, then you could still play that way. That's why Kawhi Leonard was able to come over to Toronto and do what he did, off the strength that my game is potent, not just here in San Antonio, but same place in Toronto. I could do the same thing with the Clippers. If I get with Trae Young, my game is becoming outdated in the NBA, where I'm small, I'm inefficient. I don't shoot the basketball very well. I turn the basketball over. I got to start taking better care of the basketball. I got to start shooting the basketball, not less, but I got to start taking better shots, because I'd much rather, instead of you taking 12 threes and going 3 for 12, I'd much rather you take 6 floaters and go 5 for 6 on floaters and dumb down the long ball, even though you can shoot the long ball because you've shown that you can shoot the long ball, but I'd much rather you do that. And I feel like if we get to a coach who implements a system like that and he buys into it, which I think that we're in that space now, then I think that he could be better.
I think Trae Young believes that he is interchangeable with SGA, Steph, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, and he's not. He's maybe Kyrie, maybe Tyrese Maxey, maybe like Ja Morant. Like he's not that guy. And I think if you ask him, hey Trae, if we put you in Steph Curry's place all those years, would the outcome be any different? He said, yeah, we'd probably win more chips. So I don't think he's got the right mindset to be like, no, I'm not that guy. I'm going to step in, be the point guard, and I'm going to be Josh Giddey.
Well,
you think he's going to go in? You think he's going to go in and run a team acting like he's Josh Giddey?
I think that he's going to. I think with a fresh start, depending on where he goes, I think that he recognizes that I can't do what I was doing in Atlanta. I'm not saying that you got to switch up your whole style. I'm not saying that at all. No, because what makes you great is the way you play. Like, he can score the basketball. I think he's one of the 5 best passers in the game. So all of that stuff makes him great. Now, I'm not going to switch up everything that I'm doing. No, I'm not saying that. But I do have to dumb down a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. And if you put the personnel around him where he's able to do that, I think that he will.
See, look. Perfect example. This person's just as delusional as Trae. Put Trae on OKC and swap out SGA. They're still contenders. All those defenders and finishers around him.
All those defenders and finishers around him. All those defenders and finishers around him. I do think he makes them viable. I think he makes Cason Wallace a damn good player. I think he makes Chet Holmgren. I think he makes all of those guys damn good players. My issue has always been with the Oklahoma City offense. That offense is not difficult to guard. And the reason why that offense is not difficult to guard because the ball is in front of you. With the ball being in front of you, there's not a lot of action, and that's not hard to guard as opposed to a team where there's action, like the Boston Celtics have action. And the Golden State Warriors had action. I think that with Trae Young in Oklahoma City, I mean, I don't think him taking the place of SGA, they're not a championship contending team, but I still think they're a playoff team. Yes.
Well,
I do think that.
You just disagreed because this person said nope, they're still a championship contending team.
I don't think that they're a championship contending team. No, I'm not. I don't think that. I do think that you need to put pieces around him in order to protect him, and I do think that you could protect him, but to win it with Trae Young, it's going to be hard to do that.
I know this wasn't on the slate of topics, but I can't get with this. Former NBA draft pick James. When I point to you, you say the last name because you can't. I can't say last name. James
Najee
scores his first college points. What the hell?
Tony, I don't know if you remember this, but when we were coming up, they had implemented implemented a rule where if you didn't get drafted or if you did get drafted, you could go back to school. I remember Vashawn Leonard, when he got drafted in the second round when he was at the University of Minnesota, there was talks about him going back to school. So the problem is that Najee,
if you didn't have a player agent,
if you didn't have an agent, yes, you could go back to school. Yes, that's correct. So, but with the problem that we have in here is Najee's 24 years old. That's the problem that we have.
And he's also played professional basketball.
Well, we've had guys who played professional basketball overseas. Well, here's the thing, Tone. We've had guys play professional basketball overseas and then come to the States to play college basketball. Those guys, and I ain't talking about playing on a summer league team, Tone. Really? Because just so you know, he didn't play 1 minute in the NBA, not one. He went right back overseas.
Give me a player that played professionally overseas and then got drafted and then went to play college after.
I'm drawing a blank right now.
I drank a beer.
Because it doesn't exist.
It does.
Because it's not. Listen, the rule, I'm sure,
they've had players that have
Listen, I'm sure the rule that he did made sense, and they allowed it to happen, and he's playing. It's just not in the spirit of the game as a 24-year-old. There are rules in place for the NCAA for a reason, and I don't understand this one. When did he graduate high school?
He didn't. I don't think he graduated high school here.
No. Well, your graduating year, so 18 years old.
He's 24, so 6 years ago.
So
that's 19.
All right. So he maybe just made it in because I think it's 5 or 6 years after you graduate high school. You're not allowed to play in the NCAA after that, unless there's an exception made. I don't think it's in the spirit of the game. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that dude got drafted. Look, if he went undrafted, cool. If it was the 60s where there were 75 rounds and he got drafted in round 43, okay, I'm good. This dude was 1 pick away from being a first-round draft pick.
That's it. That is correct. He still got drafted, though. Yeah, he still got drafted.
You make sense to me of it. Why is this okay?
Why is it not okay?
To be playing against 18-year-old kids.
Okay, first of all, we had 22-year-old kids. We had 22-year-old men playing against 18-year-old kids. That when guys actually went to school and stayed in school. So now all of a sudden
he didn't go through NBA camps and play professionally overseas and then come back.
No, but I played in summer league I played in summer league in the off season, and that's how I got stronger when I'm 21 and I'm 22 years old. I'm playing at the University of I go to the University of North Carolina, or I go to Louisville, or I go to Auburn, and Charles Barkley is coming down here to play. Charles Barkley is coming out here to play in the summertime, and I'm going against former pros. I'm doing that. See, the idea that these guys, like, now this is unfair. Okay, guys went to school back in the day. Don't get me wrong. I know that 24 years old is a little bit older. I am not going to argue that point. But guys like Calipari and Rick Pitino, the problem is that the playing field getting leveled. Like the stuff that you used to be able to do.
Those guys didn't leave and come back. They developed in college, so they were 4 years. By the time they were a senior, they were 22. Yeah, they weren't 24.
Okay, I can get with that part, but Rick Pitino he coached the Knicks and then came back to college. So
he's a coach.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter with coaches. They're
it doesn't matter with coaches. You're right.
Okay, so with that, so forget me bringing up coaches, right? So I'll just stick with players. This is nothing new. Najee might be a little bit older. I get that part. But players went to school and they stayed in school and they were adults when they came into the league. The problem is that today we got guys coming into the league 18, 19 years old, and that's the norm. So when they run up on a guy 22, 23 years old, whoa, you're too old. Well, that's what I told him. My senior year in college, I was 23 years old. That's how old I was my senior year in college. That's what the age is from 18. I had an extra year because I didn't play my junior year because of academic reasons. Okay. But even still.
So what if you skipped college? What if you finished at St. Anthony's, went to Europe first, played 3 years over there, got drafted to the NBA, and then joined the college team? Would you have an advantage?
Yes, I would have an advantage. But I had an advantage coming out of high school anyway because I learned the game. But that's not the point. The point is I don't think that these guys. The point is that I don't think that these guys are at a disadvantage if they're not learning the game. I understand the whole grown-up thing and whole man thing, but this is nothing new. The example that I've always used is the Berlin Wall. Tone, the fact that the Berlin Wall was up, the stuff that we used to do behind the Berlin Wall, when the Berlin Wall came down, okay, now we don't have to do that. So now instead of in back alleys, now we get to do it out in the open. That's the same thing that's going on in college now. These guys are older. With these guys being older, these guys are of college age. Now, what I don't agree with is I don't agree with having to go to junior college for 2 years, but I still got 4 years of eligibility. So which means that I could be 24, 25 years old. No,
that's the same thing.
You got 2 years. I got 2 years of junior college. I got 4 years of college eligibility. 4 years of college eligibility, 2 years in junior college. That means I got 2 years left. I don't have 4 years to do this. I don't. So I just think that these coaches, my issue is that they are upset with the playing field getting leveled, number one. And number two, these guys have always been adults.
It's getting leveled. It's not being leveled. Because now what you've done is you've opened the door to college coaches and their boosters to say, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna look for these kids that come over who maybe played overseas, got drafted in the second round, late first round. I'm gonna say, hey, your minimum contract is $500,000 to play in the G League. We're gonna get you NIL deals in excess of $1 million, and now I'm gonna make a team of a bunch of 24-year-olds. How does that level the playing field?
Well, a lot of these coaches, the way it levels the playing field is because these coaches these teams outside of the Big Ten, where these guys are all going to the NBA after 1 year. What about these mid-major teams that have guys that have been in school for 3-4 years and they have adults on their team? What about those guys? Because that's going on all over college basketball.
Been in school, 18 to 22, no problem.
Or 18 to 23.
Or 18 to 20, sure, no problem.
Yes, 18 to 23. Like, it's not an issue at Sacramento State that we got 4 seniors and they're 22 and 23 years old. That's not an issue. Why is that an issue?
Here's why it's not an issue. It's because they've been in college for 4 years. Do you know why? Because they're not good enough to go to the NBA.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Tim Duncan.
Don't bring up 30 years ago. We're talking about today.
So
you're bringing up 1995.
Because I decided not to go back. Because I decided to go to the NBA. Because I decided to come back to school. Because I don't want to play professional basketball yet, even though college basketball is professional basketball. Because plenty of people here are getting paid except us. We're the only ones not getting paid. But because I decided to go back to school, I'm not a pro. I'm not good enough to be a pro.
No, for the guys that went, like you said, in a mid-major who played 4 years, yeah, they're probably not going. They're not first-round picks in year 1, year 2, year 3.
Harrison Barnes, Tone? Harrison Barnes ended up coming back to the University of North Carolina. He was a pro after his first year. He was like, "No, I'm not ready yet. I'm going back to school." How about Zach Edey? Zach Edey played 4 years. Zach Edey played 4 years at Purdue. and came back to school after his 3rd year because they told him that he wouldn't get drafted, even though
no, he didn't play. He did not play his senior year. He did not play his senior year. And when he came out early, they told him you're probably going to be a 2nd-round pick.
I want to make sure that I'm following you, Tone, because I'm pretty confident that Zach Edey played his senior year at Purdue. And not only did he play his senior year at Purdue, they lost in the championship. That was his last year playing there.
Purdue a mid-major?
No, Purdue is a major.
Okay. Your argument was, what about these mid-major guys that play 4 years? Well, those mid-major guys that played 4 years, fine. The vast majority of them, since I don't want to make it an absolute, the vast majority of them aren't good enough to make the NBA. And again, but at least those guys came into college. They were freshmen, junior, sophomore, whatever the hell the order is, seniors in college basketball. They didn't go play with grown men, professional, get drafted to the NBA, and then say, nah, I think I'm going to go back and play with the kids. You know what it reminds me of? You know that dude that dominated all the kids in high school football, goes away to college 1 year, and then comes back that summer and beats up on all the high school kids? That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He's coming back and he's like, hey guys, you doing a kegger tonight? Let's go down to the bush and have a kegger, bro. Like, that's what this guy is doing. And I don't think it's right. And I think it's one guy. Okay, it's one guy. What happens when a team like Duke, Kentucky, Kansas gets 5 of them?
You mean like the one and done? That's how this usually starts.
No, they're going to get 5 of them and run the table, because he's got, how many years of eligibility does he have now? 2, 3, 4?
He's got 4 years of eligibility.
He's not 4 years. He can play till he's 28 years old. He's a grown man.
Yep, he's an adult. Mm-hmm. That's
crazy.
A fact. Yep.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I think that's crazy. LeBron James for MVP. LeBron James for MVP. LeBron James for MVP.
Hey, you know what? I've got this water.
LeBron James for MVP. LeBron James for MVP. LeBron. And here's why I say it. Tell me not one person is going to vote for a 41-year-old man since that game against Toronto where he scored 8 points and the streak was ended. Okay, he missed the next game. Since then, he's 26, 6-6.
You're not voting for him if you had a vote, so stop it, Tone.
Of course I am.
No, you're not. Even though, and you're a Laker guy, you're not voting for him. No, you're not.
No, I'm voting for Luka.
Yeah, exactly. You're not voting for him. So, no.
LeBron James.
Yeah, you're not voting for him. In fact, not only you not voting for him, you don't even want him on your team.
One vote.
You don't want him on your team, though. You
How
over him.
You bet that he gets 1 vote?
I think he gets like 5 votes, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
LeBron James.
MVP. I'm going to start chanting every Laker game now, MVP.
Yeah, just off the strength of him being LeBron James. Yeah, just off the strength of him being that. So yeah, I could get with that. But I don't think that this is talked about nearly as much. I mean, he just finished second he's second in assists all time.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. I don't think I'm gonna see this again in my lifetime. The best score, the number one in points.
But yes, number 1 in points. Yes.
Number 1 in points and number 2 in assists. In my lifetime, nah, I don't think I'm gonna see that again. No.
Never.
That's like
you will never see a player with peak longevity like him. Which is why forever he will have question marks as to how he did it. Whether that's fair,
you'll never be able to prove it, and you'll never be able to prove it.
Whether that's fair or not, forever
it's unfair.
Because it's insane for him to still do what he's doing at this age. We've both passed that age a while ago, and we remember how sore our bones and our.
I can hardly run today. He ain't that much younger than me. I could hardly run today, and he ain't that much younger than me. I'm trying to figure out how he's still doing it. I don't get it. I don't.
Number 1 in all-time points. Number 2 in assists.
Yep.
As you know, I don't rank active players in my top 10, but I did say to you, if you recall, 3 years ago, you asked me, is there anything LeBron can do to surpass MJ for me as the GOAT? And I said, I don't rank active players, so the first thing he would have to do is retire. The second thing I said was, if he keeps playing, there's going to be a point. And I remember it because it was 3 years ago. And I said, yeah, if he gets to year 22, 23, 24, 25, and he's number 1, number 2 in like everything, how can you not? How can you not?
Can't do it. He's number 1, and he's number 1 all time in points. He's number 2 all time in assists. He's number 1 all time in playoff points. I think he's in the top 5 all time in steals in the playoffs. He's in the top 10 I think he's right outside the top 10 in steals. He might be actually in the top 10 in steals if I think about it. So it'd be pretty difficult not to put him up there. I don't think I'm gonna see this again in my lifetime. I don't. I doubt it very seriously. And I don't think people are making a big enough deal about this. I don't think people are making nearly as big a deal about this.
You know why?
They should be.
We're too used to it. We're too used to it.
So he normalized it? Is that what you think it is, though?
Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double, and it was huge. And then he did it again. And he did it again. And now we all think Russell Westbrook sucks. He doesn't suck, by the way. He's one of the greatest point guards of all time.
Right.
But because he did it so effortlessly, we don't realize how phenomenal of a player. And I think that LeBron has actually almost hurt himself in the course of helping himself. He's hurt himself.
Imagine that. Imagine being so good that you're too good, and then people start to now
so long that realize or appreciate how good you were for so long.
We complete we see you now like, yo, you kind of whack, when in reality, like, you really aren't. You still are awesome, but because you're not what you are compared to what you were, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, like you said to me, why are we comparing James to James?
Yeah, don't compare James to James. Compare James to
the rest of the compare him to the rest of the league. That's what we need to do.
Who else is 26, 6, and 6?
Denny Avdia is 26, 6, and 6. I think Jaylen Brown is 26. You know, he's not 6 and 6. Let's see. 26. Joker is 26, 6 and 6. Luka is 26, 6 and 6. I think Tyrese Maxey is 20. Nope, he's not 23, 6 and 6. That's not true. Jalen Brunson is not 26, 6 and 6. There's only a few guys that are 25 or 26. It's only a handful of guys.
Up there with the top 5-10 players in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he should get an old man tax.
I think SGA is 26, 20. I think he's 26, 6 and 6 too.
All right, let's listen. It's time for me to stop talking and give it 2 cents.
All my fellas.
Told you I'd get you your own theme song.
What up?
What's up, fella? You caught me off guard. I'm sitting here laughing, watching, enjoying the show. But yeah, man. It's hard for based upon what LeBron already did, what he did in the past. It's kind of making turning them. Living a bitter taste in people's mouth about his accolades. I can do it subjectively, but objectively, most people really can't. I'm talking about just talk to somebody they don't know basketball, they never knew it, and you looked at it objectively, because most people that got the hate and the disdain for what this man has accomplished, LeBron, is personal bias, their personal feelings and stuff like that. It's hard for him to pass Michael Jordan because I grew up in a Michael Jordan age. So it's very hard, man. God almighty. That man was amazing. When I tell you amazing, I'm preaching to the choir. Y'all already know. But yeah, man, he was just so amazing. I don't want to make it a LeBron, Michael Jordan thing, but
I think people already have their mind made up. If you're a Jordan guy, you already have your mind made up about who your guy is. And I think if you're a James guy, I think you already have your mind made. I was swayed, and I got swayed in the late 2010s because you could not talk me off the Jordan ledge. I had always been a Jordan guy, and then I got swayed later on in the late 2010s, and I became a James guy, and that's where I am, and that's where I'm standing. He's the best that I've ever seen. However, I think that the majority of people that are Jordan guys, I think that that's where they stand, and it's like I think that that's where they stand, and you're not going to be able to move them. Same thing with James.
I don't know. I didn't. I'm looking back at my list, and I didn't have Jordan. I want to say it was until 01-02. It was always Magic for that for me.
Yeah. No, I mean that's I get what you're saying, but I've never seen a human being that phenomenal. LeBron didn't come around. I was like, what 2004-ish, 5 or whatever, when he was in the league. Then I was like, I'm like amazed again. So it was great. And then Kobe became Kobe a look after the Shaq thing or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I'm loving basketball, man. It's my thing. Basketball and football is my thing. I'm watching it hands down all the time. But I know that's a hot button for anybody talking on panel. So I try not to ruffle any feathers. But I was trying to go back to, like the last things that y'all was talking about real quick, because I didn't know how much time y'all had because I was just listening to the topics. So if you can just kind of just say like one last topic. I don't want to do the LeBron thing. That's crazy.
We were talking about the playing field getting leveled in college. Older guys.
That guy getting drafted and going back and playing.
James.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Now, here's how I feel about the college thing. Now that they're people are getting paid at this point in time.
Sure.
I respect a young bull. See, but I know a young bull don't have the wisdom. He might have the talent and those type of things like that. It's just not honest, and he can't control his powers yet. But when these older guys can come in, they have already, even if they wasn't great, they at least know what their powers are and what they're gonna do. It can kind of disrupt it. So I'm glad. If you look at the top teams in basketball now, I'm like, damn, really? I'm looking at teams like Nebraska and all these different teams. I'm kind of surprised because we know it changed the game, because if you got a little change, a little money, you can change how your team could end up at this point in time. So it's good for college basketball for me, because I don't watch college basketball a lot.
They should just stop having them go to class too. They should just run teams.
They were doing
no.
Done. I'm done. I'm done.
They were doing that anyway.
Yeah.
They were doing that anyway. Good to talk to you though, Since. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely, my man. No doubt. Good to talk to you, my dude.
Hey, Fernandez.
What up?
Can y'all hear me?
What up?
Yes, we can hear you. How about those Patriots? Or no?
2025 MVP, Chill.
Here we go with this shit. Give me a break, man.
Come on, Chill.
Fine, fine. Absolutely. He's the MVP of the league. No question about it. You got it. Yep. He's the MVP of the league. Yep, you got it.
You think what?
They only 3 games out the one spot. He's the MVP of the league. You got it. Yep, you got it. Absolutely.
Well, hold on a minute here,
no
Chill.
questions
Don't try to be sarcastic with me.
No doubt about it. He's averaging almost 30 a game, 35-5. The Celtics are 3 games out of the number 1 spot. He's the league MVP.
I'm talking about Drake May, Chill. You're
talking about Drake May.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jaylen Brown. Oh, I think Drake May wins it going away. And if anybody said that they had Drake May on their bingo card as league MVP, you are lying. So and so, you are.
So yeah, I was
lying.
So doesn't think May is the MVP?
You are lying. If you say that you had Drake May on your bingo card as the league MVP, you are a lying so and so.
No, but still, you really think he wins it going away?
I do think that he wins it going away. Yes,
because I'm hearing all the narrative talk. I hear Stafford's 40 plus touchdown passes.
Yeah. And they fell off at the end of the season too. Don't forget, they were the team to beat in the NFC West, and then they ended up falling off. Drake May and that New England Patriots team. Not only did not anybody have them making the playoffs, nobody had them being this good. They're the number 2 seed in the AFC. And I actually thought that they had a chance to be the number 1 seed. I do. And that game against Buffalo kind of threw a monkey wrench in it, because I actually thought that the road to the bowl game was going to go through Foxborough. But I think he's the league MVP. I do.
I mean, we lost that game to Buffalo because of our defense. I feel like our offense
had nothing to do with Drake May. Nothing to do with
it.
Drake
had
May.
nothing to do with it.
And I will be blown away if Josh Allen wins the league MVP. I'm out.
31. You scored 31 points. You scored enough points to win the game, Chill. You scored enough points to win. It's just your defense gives up 5 straight touchdown drives. What are you going to do about that, Chill? What are you going to do about that?
What you're going to do about it is you're going to score 6 touchdowns. That's what you're going to do.
Oh, our defensive guys are back. Spillane, Landry, Milton Williams is back. All these boys.
Tony, am I ridiculous if I think that the Patriots could be running out of the tunnel in Levi Stadium in San Francisco for the bowl game?
As long as they're losing to the Bears, I don't care.
Okay. All right, because I think that the Patriots could represent the AFC in the bowl game.
I think the AFC is theirs to take.
Yeah, I think they could represent the AFC
because we got the culture, we got the generational talent in Drake May.
Who is the AFC team that looks unstoppable right now?
I thought the Broncos were unstoppable.
It ain't Denver because they quarterback. I think Drake May is better. I think Drake May is better than Bo. I do.
I knew this. I knew this when they got drafted. I've been said this dude was better. I've been said this. Considering the fact that Bo came into the NFL with a significantly better roster, Chill. You remember that?
I do remember that.
When May came into the league and he had Gerard Mayo as his head coach. Gerard Mayo.
That lasted for 5 minutes. Yeah, that lasted for 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes, Chill.
Yeah.
He gets a good coach, good offensive coordinator, MVP. But the real question that I wanted to ask you, Chill, is who's the defensive player of the year? Who's Depoy?
That I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I knew that because I don't know. I'm not sure who the defensive player of the year is. My early pick was Bosa, but Bosa ended up. I think it's Myles Garrett. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Myles Garrett.
Breaking the record probably just gives it to him.
Yeah, I think it's Myles Garrett. Mm-hmm.
You think it's Myles Fluent?
Do I think it is, or do I think he'll win it? Those are two different questions.
Who do you think will win it?
I think he wins it because he did something historic.
Do you think he is the Depoy, though?
No.
Who do you think is the Depoy?
I think it's Myles Garrett.
Maybe. I don't see somebody. I want to pick someone on the Texans, but I feel like there's a couple of guys that they have, and so it makes it harder.
Is it Stingley?
But I'm struggling because I haven't given it much thought because I just thought he broke the sack record, so he's gonna win. But Daniel Hunter, maybe.
Daniel Hunter?
Yeah.
So it really will just.
That's just honestly pulling a name out of my ass because I think I've just assumed it's Myles Garrett and they're going to give it to him.
Yeah. Hi, brother. Good to talk to you, Jay.
Well, all right, y'all have a good one then.
Yes, sir.
Joe's up next. Joe.
Yes, sir. What up?
Joe.
Yo.
What up?
Why are you getting so angry about the Jaylen Brown MVP shot? Even though he didn't say it, I'm
not angry about it. I'm just done talking about it. That's all. I'm because what it turns into Jaylen Brown being better than Jason Tatum, and I don't understand why we can't just talk about Jaylen Brown being awesome. Like, why does this have to be about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? It does not have to be about them. It doesn't have to be about these two. I just want to talk about Jaylen Brown doing what Jaylen Brown did for this Boston Celtic team this year. The minute it turns into Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum, and now this conversation turns into something completely different than what it should turn into. It should just be about Jaylen Brown being what he is this season and this season only. That's it. That's what that's what I think it should be about. I don't think it should be about anything else.
It also creates like this unnecessary toxicity within the fan base, which I think is not needed. We're clearly going through was meant to be a rough time, which it thank God isn't. And people still try and find negatives about Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. They've been playing together for a while now, and
8 years.
Now, 8 long years.
9 years. 8 years. 8 years they've been together since 17.
And now all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, it's been happening for maybe 2-3 years. But I mean, it's happening more now. But people just want them apart, or it feels like people want them apart because for whatever reason, I feel like we just can't appreciate them.
That's why I have a problem with it. That's why I have a problem with the narrative, because what it ultimately does is it ultimately breaks up what's something really good. Like I think that's why Shaq and Kobe broke up, because it became whose team is it? Who's better between Shaq and Kobe? Kobe's better than Shaq. Shaq is better than Kobe. Instead of just I think that if we just recognize how awesome Bryant was, instead of turning this into whose team it is, then I think that those guys would have stayed. I think they would have stayed together a lot longer. Like we didn't do that with Magic and Jabbar. That's why Jabbar and Magic stayed. I think that if we would have done that with Magic and Jabbar, I'm not sure if they stayed together for as long as they did.
That was a little bit different.
And also, what do you think about the?
It was different because when Magic came in,
what do you think about?
Hold on for a second, Joe.
Kareem was already a little bit older.
Okay.
Right. So he was a little bit older. So wasn't it like Tatum and Brown are, I think they're a year apart?
Yep.
Kobe and Shaq are 2 years apart?
No, he's a lot older than he's like 6 years older than
Shaq came in what, 92? Kobe came in 95 as an 18-year-old though.
96.
But
Shaq was over to your point when you're talking about Jabbar was already established as a star.
Right. He'd already won a title.
But and Shaq was already established as a star when Bryant showed up.
He hadn't won a title.
But he had been there and he had been playing at that level.
But it wasn't until Kobe took that next step that they won. So I think, listen, still closer in age, I think, than Magic and Kareem. So I think that's why we didn't do that. And we probably just didn't act that way as much back then either. That being said, okay. But back to my thing, Jaylen Brown, can you just remind me who told all of you guys that the Celtics were going to be good this year and be in the playoffs?
You did. You 100% did. I didn't think that they were going to be this
Nobody believed me. Nobody believed me.
I didn't think that they were going to be this good. I thought that they were going to be the bottom, the bottom part of a playoff team, maybe a play-in team. I thought this was to be honest with you, and I can say it now because it's going on. I thought they were going to be Indiana. This was going to be a gap year. They would. I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have been at the bottom of the East and figuring it out. I did not think Jaylen Brown. I did not know he was this good. I didn't know that.
The bottom, wow.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Joe, what team in not in recent history, what team, I can't remember a team, and I got a pretty good memory, but I can't remember a team that was in the NBA championship that loses 4 of your 5 key players. And then the next year, right back in the middle of it. Not with any major acquisitions, by the way. It's not like you lost 4 of your 5 major players and you made major acquisitions. I mean, they went and got Anthony Simons and Luka Garza. Like, these are the guys that they're supplementing for Jason Tatum and Al Horford and Porzingis. Meanwhile, at the bottom of they're at the top of the East.
Yeah. I also, as well, with the whole trading, when we was trading a lot of players, I really didn't like letting go of Drew Holiday. And I know he's old, and I know his career is going to come to an end fairly soon. Maybe not so soon, but maybe 2-3 years time. But I loved that guy so much. It was just, maybe he wasn't the best 3-point shooter that we've ever, of course not. But he was efficient enough for me as a point guard. We had 2, 3 3-point shooters, even 4 with some House as well, 3-point shooters. I was okay with the way he shot the ball, but that defense, man, that was just. I mean, I obviously understand the process of he's in his mid-30s. He's not going to be in the league forever, of course. No one ever is.
Sure.
That level of performance is going to definitely decline, and that was expected. But then he went to Portland, and then he was showing up, and then he got injured, of course, and that's what happens in basketball. No one ever stays healthy for the full 82. That's part of basketball. It's part of any athlete at all.
100% chance of getting hurt when playing basketball. A 100% chance. At some point, it's going to happen. Unfortunately. So, good to talk to you, though, Joe. Absolutely, my man.
Of course, talk to you.
Sure.
Is it because of the Jason Tatum propaganda? Is that why you were thinking they were going to finish last?
No, I didn't think that. I thought that was part of it. But I also thought that with losing everything that they lost Jason Tatum, they lost Drew Holiday, one of their better perimeter defenders and long ball shooters. They lost Porzingis, their best rim protector. They lost their best rotation player. So 4 of their 5 starters who were key to what they were trying to do, they were gone. And if you are gonna, if you're gonna be viable, like you have to, I feel like you got to supplement that. And I mean, did they? I don't think they did.
I have a question from the chat. Why do you hate Kawhi Leonard?
Why do I hate Kawhi Leonard?
Why you hate? And then I'm going to bring Leaf up, but you tell me why you hate Kawhi.
I don't hate Kawhi Leonard. No, I do. I do not hate Kawhi.
You don't know how good Kawhi Leonard was.
I think Kawhi Leonard is awesome. I think the problem that we have with Kawhi Leonard is that he's not able to hold up. You've never heard me, any of you guys in the chat, whether it's in the chat or up here, you've never heard me say a bad thing about Kawhi Leonard's game ever. The thing that you've always heard me talk about when he's talking about Kawhi Leonard is his ability to stay upright. That's it. You ain't never heard me say nothing else about him, ever.
Should every injury-prone player come to Toronto?
I was thinking that of Phoenix because it's almost like that's the fountain of youth.
Kawhi Leonard, no issues. BI, no issues. Anthony Davis, I think, should come over. There was another big that you said if he was available, why the heck don't the Raptors make a phone call? Do you remember who that was?
You did. You said that.
Who was it? No, another one. You remember?
I don't remember that one, Tone.
All right. In that case, Leaf, what up?
Gentlemen, what's going on?
What up?
Just wanted to say a few things. Happy New Year, by the way. It's been a long time.
Happy New Year.
It has been a minute, man. I celebrated my first New Year's in 70-degree weather. And
it's a little different, ain't it?
And not in New York.
It's a little different.
Well, I gotta stop telling people I'm down south. I'm in the West. A lot of people don't understand how big Texas is. Lubbock is the West. Texas Tech University, I'm an hour out from that. That is the West. As soon as you see grass that look like cactus, that shit is the West. That's what that is. It's just that simple. So that's where I'm at. About the NFL playoffs, in the AFC, the most I don't say if I got a favorite that New England, but Houston is definitely one of the most dangerous teams coming in.
They could be in the bowl game.
They could definitely be in the AFC Championship game, bar none.
They could be in the bowl game. No
Listen,
doubt.
I think they have two guys, like I was saying earlier, they have two guys that I think could win Defensive Player of the Year. Anytime you have a defense that plays that good, you have a chance.
Well, I don't think they have any candidates that could win Defensive Player of the Year. The reason why is because Myles Garrett might win that undisputably. Like I don't think.
I meant from a way that they're playing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, with the way that they playing,
we know how Garrett is going to get it. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, for sure. But I was 100% right about Denver because I've been doing nothing but NFL podcasts on Sunday. I said that Denver is going to obsolete us of arguably the most annoying thing that we've seen in the past 7 years, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sick and tired of them. I'm glad they're done.
We're not done.
Well, right now they're done. I'm glad to not see them for at least another 8 months. I could do without them. As far as the NFC goes, goddamn. Oh man.
The clock struck 12 on my 49ers. Just so you know, Tone, I'll start linebacker in addition to Fred Warner, who is the best linebacker in the league. So now our backup linebacker, he out for Sunday too.
So you guys couldn't have given us that win so that we could have at least had the number one seed?
No.
The clock struck 12 on us.
Why would they do that, Fluent?
We wouldn't do that.
That's silly.
We wouldn't do that. No.
That's silly.
We need all the help that we could get. That's why.
All the help? Y'all just won a division. What are you talking about? Like, y'all got a home game for the first time in I don't know when.
Against the Packers.
Hey, man, listen. Y'all first off, we're injured. That's number one. Second, the only team that y'all really...
Packers fan? I don't know. I'm asking.
You didn't know that.
I did not know that.
As many times as you told me don't come in here with a Packers hat on.
Oh, now that I know that, I'm just
mm-hmm.
You knew that all along, Fluent, man. You out here playing silly, man. Cut it out. Cut it out.
I'm old, man. I forget things.
Yeah, you forget things, man. The Bears are by far, if there's any team I hate more than the Bears,
listen,
the Cowboys.
Respectfully, and I say this respectfully because we hate each other. I hate the Packers. I don't want to play you in the playoffs.
I know you don't because
that's respect. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's not respect. That's fear. That's what that is. That's fear.
No, that's respect. Don't make it something that's not
fear. That's what it is.
The fear comes from the players.
You can say it. Man, please. In the early 2010s, I ain't want nothing to do with the Giants in the playoffs. When I saw that the Giants missed the playoffs in 2012, when I saw that the Giants missed the playoffs in 2012, I was like, we're going to the bowl game. I knew it. When they missed the playoffs that year, I knew we was going to the bowl game.
The only thing
it's the same thing with the Niners in the 90s. I didn't want to see the Niners in the 90s. I didn't care for them. I don't want to see the Niners in the. Why would I want to see the Niners in the 90s?
Leaf, we discuss this all the time. Teams duck smoke on a regular.
They do.
Teams duck smoke on a regular. I ain't
they
do with the Giants. I did.
They needed to win that game.
They do, but here's the thing: in the NFL, it's much harder to do in the NFL than it is in the NBA.
100%.
Let's make that one thing. And now that I want to get to the NBA. Chilltown. The Cleveland Cavaliers have officially pissed me off.
Oh,
they have pissed me. They pissed.
No, they're not. They're not serious.
And I explained this to you last year. Is there anybody on that team, anybody on that roster that you look at and go,
send it to
you? Yo, we need to do this. Bruh, they front court look like two future kindergarten teachers, man. I don't believe in them, bro. Like these dudes is pudding.
What I care about is
you said they were winning that. They were going to the finals.
I had them winning it. No, I ain't had them going to
the
finals.
You had them winning the East.
I didn't have them winning.
The NBA.
I had them winning the NBA championship before the season started. Yes, I had them winning the NBA championship before the season started. Yes, I did. No doubt about it.
What edibles did you have before that?
Well, I need to know. I had last year. This was the progression of the Cavs. This was the progression. And last year, before the injuries, I had them in the East Finals, but then they ended up breaking down. And then this year, they were supposed to take that necessary step in order to get to the NBA championship and win it this year. That's what I thought that they were doing this year. But the thing that concerned me the most this season watching this group is the league is so good and it's so talented and there's so many good teams. You gotta win the games that you're supposed to win. Not doing that.
And they're not doing that.
When Steph Curry, Steph Curry, Dre, and Jimmy Butler are at a lineup and they come into your building, you're supposed to smoke them. Lose them. And you lose to them. That tells me y'all dudes ain't serious. I watched Oklahoma City go into Golden State without them three dudes and beat them dudes by 30. Them dudes serious.
Yes,
those dudes are serious. Y'all dudes ain't serious. Y'all not.
And now that I got you here, I need to speak more about this Trae Young situation. I think Trae Young, what he's done statistically in the past couple of years has been pretty phenomenal for somebody of his stature. But the way that the league is changing, and we're seeing it change, especially at the lead guard position, I think his days as a number one option might be slowly dwindling. I think the only
they're over.
Yeah, they are over. I think but like, let's be honest.
Do you think he ever should have been a number one?
No,
I don't think he should have ever been a number one either.
No one, listen, this is not hate. This is just reality. Never, let me say, I don't want to say never. There might have been, someone's going to give me one exception. So in 75 years, less than 3 times, to cover my ass, less than 3 times was a guy that size the number one on a championship team.
Yeah, less than 3 times. Yeah, and
maybe if you want to say Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons.
All I can think of is Steph and Zeke. That's it. That's the only players I can think of, and that was number one options at that stature.
And Steph won 1, and then it was kind of 1A, 1B with KD for the other 2, and then Steph
won another one.
And then he won another one.
Yeah, but I think
who else?
I think that Trae Young, the dimensions that was supposed
if I may,
to be added,
to cut you off just quickly, and even in the Pistons years, Isaiah was the one, but let's be honest, between Zeke, Dumars, like there, it was still a collective. He was the one. Isaiah was the one, but that was
he definitely was the one. But I think the dimensions that Trae Young was supposed to add to his game, I haven't seen him add yet. I haven't seen this like the thing about Steph is that he had elite shooting efficiency when he didn't have the strong defensive prowess. And I think they had a good defensive collective around him, a good defensive system around him, in order for him to for him to be free and be the roamer. I think what Trae Young is lacking that. I think Trae Young needs to play along somebody or a system that's more defensively oriented to keeping him away from keeping him out of harm's way, and putting him in situations where his spot up shooting could be a lot more efficient than what it is.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, because we were talking about this before, and here's the problem with that. Where are you going to find a defensive point forward / point center, a defensive 3-and-D guy, two good defenders off the bench, like to put around him at this point with the amount of money he makes. Let's remember the reason it worked for Steph is he was injured, signed a deal that was team friendly, and they were able to do those other things. Look, can it be done? Sure. Super hard. Super hard.
I got a team.
Yeah, OKC, because they have 75 draft picks.
No. I wasn't going to say them, but I do have a team, but I just don't think that he's going to land there. San Antonio.
No.
To me.
No.
No. I know they got their league guard spot, but I'm just saying fantasy wise.
Okay. I see
if they decide to come up off of De'Aaron Fox, they just wake up and decide to come up off De'Aaron Fox.
That'd be goofy, super goofy.
That'd be crazy.
It probably would, but just verbatim, I think it would. And I got one more thing to say before I go.
And can I just say this before you say your last thing? San Antonio will be last year's Houston this year. Go ahead.
I agree with that. I mean, I don't have no problem with that. I will say this: Anthony Black will be better than both of the Thompson twins.
Good luck with that. I ain't buying.
You sure?
Amen.
You sure? You better watch it. You down in Florida? You better watch Anthony Black.
Yeah, I do.
Pay close attention to him. I don't see nothing in the Thompson twins game that's away from the basket that's consistent on offense. All I see is great athletes, an injury away, bro, from not becoming great athletes. That's all I see.
Okay, that's injury. See, but you can't. You're accounting for injury. So yes, of course, if he gets injured and they lose their athleticism, which is their number one strength, then.
But I see Anthony Black going to certain things that I didn't think he would be able to go to, bro, in his NBA career. I didn't see him stepping away from the basket and stepping outside of the 3-point line and starting to get something. I'm seeing Anthony Black at the lead guard position, and he's starting to slowly dwell into that spot. I really think he is. But I got to see how it really plays out with Orlando, because I think the Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner thing is starting to get old. And I think they really need somebody to speed them up. And I think Anthony Black is the guy.
I think that's coaching.
They're going to blow that up. Leaf, appreciate you.
All right, brother. It's about that time.
There's one more that just popped in. You want to give him a minute?
We got to bounce.
We got to bounce?
Yeah, we got to bounce.
You want to give Neef 1 minute? Okay. You sure?
Come on in, Neef. What you got, brother?
His background's so nice. I felt like I had to let him.
He looked like a 70s rock star, don't he?
70s rock star? That's wild.
Yeah.
If you don't start singing "Are You Gonna Go Out" with Lenny Kravitz right now,
I was about to say he got a Jimi Hendrix thing going on. Neef is my man. I dig Neef, no doubt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's up? Pleasure to meet you.
By the way, guys, it's Neff. What's up?
Oh, it's Neff.
But
Neff. Yeah, Neff.
Yeah. I'm the Milwaukee guy. Fucking our team sucks right now. It's sad. Everyone's trying to be like, oh, where's Trey Young going? Milwaukee is like down on that list, but like, please don't bring him to my team. I don't know where you should go, to be honest with you.
How did you feel about your team? How did you feel about your team going into the season?
Not good.
Expectations high?
No, not at all. But right. I understood that we kind of did what we could with the situation gave. You know, Dame tore his Achilles. We had to get off that money, even though we have like 25 in dead cap now for the next like 4 years. You know, we kind of did what we could to sign Miles Turner. But basically, all in all, I'm okay with doing whatever we got to do to keep Giannis. I'm okay with that.
I'm good with that too, yo.
I'm
good with that too.
It's
yeah. If you can keep him there for his whole career, you just got to keep messing around and you'll find the pieces again.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm okay with that. You know, the rest of the NBA forgets to ask what the actual fan base thinks, but you know, that's normal.
Under no circumstances do you trade. Under no circumstances do you trade. And under no circumstances do you trade Giannis unless he got to ask out. And Neff, I'm in the minority. I said this to the fellas. Right? I said this to the fellas. He got to slide the divorce papers across the table at the Christmas dinner to me in front of the family before I trade him.
And I'm still gonna fight it and ask for therapy.
He got to slide the divorce papers. Yes, absolutely.
Let's
got to do it in front of the whole family
first.
Yes, absolutely. Because I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Absolutely
no, for
not.
real. Like he did way too much for our franchise. He's the top 15 player of all time. 20,
Is it crazy?
if you
Is
want
it
to
crazy
argue.
to say he is the greatest Buck ever?
Yes,
No,
he is.
no, he
Not crazy, right?
He is. No,
He passed.
not
I
at
think
all.
he passed the ball. I think he passed the ball. I'm going to say last season, in my estimation, I think he passed the ball.
I got Giannis 1, Paul McKeskey 2, and then Kareem 3.
Paul McKeskey is hilarious for that.
Paul McKeskey's my boy, so I got to always shout him out every time.
Absolutely.
For sure. Also, to end, the Packers should give up. We're too injured. Just let the Bears have it. Yeah, we had that
story, Neff. Like this years in and year out. Like this is the same story with y'all, man. Y'all just beat up. Like, damn, I can't get the break.
Yeah. Like we're actually a good football team, and if we were healthy, if Micah was healthy, if we had our first, target with Tucker Kraft, he went down like in the middle of the season. It's just not there, It's just not there. Just pack it in.
Appreciate
a good season.
Take it. All right, brother.
Guys.
I'll take it. I will take a courtesy. Here, go. I'm good. You know me.
I do.
I'm good like that.
Yes, sir.
You know what time it is?
I do know what time it is. It's about that time, man. We've been here. Like we're doing it a little bit different. Me and my man Tony Tone. This is where you can find us every Tuesday on the Sports Fluent and Chilltown Hoops Network. Me and my man Tony Tone. We do it every Tuesday. We are back. We had taken a hiatus over the holidays, but we back in effect. This is where you can find us. We will be here every Tuesday night. See you guys soon. Until then, put on the suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey man, call your mother. Well, last time you talked to your mother, call your mother. I just talked to my mother a couple of days ago. So we will talk to you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. Y'all know what it is.
I talked to her today, actually. I'm such a good son.
Mama.
Fluent Chill, we call it how it's played from the field to the court. Every minute gets weighed. Fourth quarter heat, over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron or MJ.